This is the comedy event you've been waiting for.
Put it down, you fat bastard!
Comedian Robert Kelly will be performing live in front of an audience and streaming it right to your living room.
You're old as shit because your hair's feathered.
January 30th, 2021. Robert Kelly from Comedy Central, Netflix, and HBO will be doing his hilarious, crude, but vulnerable stand-up live from the Wall Street Theater and streaming it around the world right to you. Robert Kelly live stream pay-per-view from the Wall Street Theater, January 30th, 2021. Go online for tickets.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Robert Kelly, a.k.a. The Dude, a.k.a. The King of Zoom. Thanks for checking out the Calta and Kelly YouTube page. We hope you like what we're putting up there. Make sure you go to patreon.com/Robert Kelly and sign up over there, because every week we put a show, an extra show. Friday show, only Patreon. And we also have the J.O. party on Saturday night, only Patreon. That means you, all the fans, get to come into a Zoom and hang out with us and all the other ladybugs, and it's a blast. So we also let you watch all the shows live, YKWD live, all the Calta and Kelly's live, unedited, all go on the Patreon, and you also get the 10-minute extra YKWD every week goes on there, along with Live from the Shed, one-on-ones, Tech Talk with Bobby and Friends. There's so much content up there, and you know what? It's all for what? A price of a cup of coffee. $5 gets you in the door. And you're going to love it. So make sure you go over there, patreon.com/Robert Kelly. And here's another little thing I want you to do. If you like this content we're putting up, subscribe and like. That's it. Just hit the little button, subscribe, so you know when we got a new show out, and then like it so we know you like what we're doing. Okay? That's it. Patreon.com/Robert Kelly. Subscribe and like. Now, enjoy the show.
They're number one best friends, almost 1,000 pounds of money. They're here to entertain you, not because Bobby needs the money. In this place you'll laugh right down from your belly. So get in here, you half a queer. It's time for Calta and Kelly.
That's for you.
Oh, welcome to Calta and Kelly. I am Calta, and with us today for the ailing Bobby Kelly, who had surgery on his belly today, is the great Rich Voss.
Well, thank you for having me. I noticed in your intro I wasn't in any of those frames or any of those shots, but that's okay. I've probably done this way more than anybody, but I'm not going to start off by complaining. But
yeah, I would say you're up there with you're the like the Charles Grodin to our Johnny Carson. Like, you've been on the show a lot.
Yeah, and I can't imagine, let's put Billy and Norton, and you know what I mean? It's just put somebody with hair, at least.
Listen, I don't make the videos, so I understand. I don't pick what goes in them. Basically, that's a problem that Bobby secretly has had with you, I guess.
And also, too, Bobby in the beginning with his shotgun, when he went like that, he's never shot that. I guarantee if he shoots it, it would throw him back 10 or 20 feet.
You're probably right.
He has no idea the power that has.
That specific gun is a short barrel, and it's power. It's a Mossberg. It'll knock him on his ass if he doesn't hold it right.
Listen, what do you call it? An M15, a semi-automatic would throw him back because he doesn't know. I don't know if he's ever went to the range with his new gun.
What do you know about guns? You shoot?
I only heroin. I
know you shoot the bow and arrow.
Yeah, I was out yesterday with my compound bow. I've been to the range a couple times, different times.
Have you been hunting?
No, I don't hunt. What do you mean with a rifle or with an arrow?
I can't imagine hunting. I have good friends who hunt with bow and arrow, with compound bows, and I can't fucking imagine that, because I'll eat the shit out of whatever you kill, but I have a hard time shooting some. The only thing I can kill is like ugly stuff, like a wild boar or something. Yeah. But I went out deer hunting one time, and I'm like, this is gonna suck, because if I see a little thing twitching, and I don't want to see that.
Well, here's my outlook on. First of all, I mean, I don't eat meat anyhow.
You don't eat any meat?
No. Well,
How long?
Well, I haven't had red meat in about 30 years.
Holy shit!
Red meat and chicken and turkey for about a year now, 3/4 of a year.
For just health reasons?
Well, years ago I couldn't red meat because it always screwed my stomach. It always went right through me.
Yeah,
I mean, I loved it. And well, I quit veal first. I quit veal because of animals. Like
everybody quit veal when they found out how veals were raised.
Yeah, I
doubled up.
I drove past a farm or whatever, and I saw these little veals, these little cows tied to the stake.
Oh, you actually saw it?
Yeah, they were all tied to these stakes. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I quit. And veal, let me tell you something. I love veal parmesan, how it tastes. I mean, I love veal parmesan. So then.
Why are you guys always talking about food?
Well, because we're talking about hunting.
Yeah.
And so I quit that. Then I quit red meat because, like after the bar, 2 a.m, or whatever. Well, no, I was sober, actually. I would go late at night and have chili dogs or, it just wasn't good for you.
You feel like shit the next day. You have heartburn.
Yeah, it's horrible. And then I quit chicken and turkey because my Bonnie and Raina were vegans, so I'm sitting here, what the fuck? Anyhow, so hunting. Here's what I don't
Wait, real quick, Bonnie, you get bored being vegan and all?
Bored?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm fat. Like I look forward to like going out to eat, and it's exciting. But I've been on this diet for a while, and I'm like, this is boring as shit now because that's like the number one social gathering was going out to eat.
Yeah, I mean, it does really cut into it because like when I go out with friends or whatever, it's always like I went out for sushi with my friend, and she wanted to order all this sushi, and then I just was like, I can only eat like veggie sushi, and then it was like, yeah, it's not as fun.
Side note, very classy Christmas tree. We were discussing it this week. Colored lights and ornaments on a tree is very trashy. White lights, perfect.
What do we have? White lights, right?
Yes, perfect. Very nice.
Yeah, but our tree, how trashy is this? Our tree came with it. And
that's the easy way to get it.
We got the floor model from Walmart last year.
That's fine. If it's already together, that's easier.
The floor. That's how I feel about my marriage. I got the floor model.
Also, great to see a Jewish family with Christmas tree.
Well, she's not. I'm Jewish. My daughter's half, but no one's religious in this.
It's weird because I'm atheist, Rich is Jewish, and Raina's Wiccan. So yeah, it gets tricky.
Real quick with hunting, what I don't get about hunters is when a bunch of people went off on Twitter about this when I talked about it on my podcast, they put down like food for deer to run up and eat, and they just sit up in a thing, and when they come to eat the fucking food,
yes,
they shoot. It's not really hunting. It's kind of.
Well, it is hunting. That's how you hunt. You track something very, very slowly, and then you wait, and then you kill. That's
We'll be mad because we're smarter than the animal.
No, but there's no tracking. They throw the food down. It's called luring.
Yeah, well, the barefoot Indians used to track. We were like, fuck it, let's just have them come to us.
Yeah, that's basically It's kind of like how they killed Pesci in Goodfellas.
Right.
I've never heard anyone call it Goodfellas before.
But that's how they killed it. They lured him in and shot him. So the deer once he.
Do you know you're saying 60% of the words wrong?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm making valid points, and instead of agreeing, you're trying to see people try to tear other people down to build themselves up.
Do you know I went into this show today saying to myself, don't start off by just making fun of Rich. Let him appreciate that he decided to do this and just be nice. Thankfully, Bonnie's here to tear you.
Well, no, but
it's impossible not to because you'd have to let so many things go. Like he said, good fellows. Okay, so what are you supposed to just let that go? Like, oh yeah, that's how people say it. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Goodfellas.
So,
what if Colin heard you say that? What if Colin heard you say that? Would he make fun of you?
If who heard me say it?
Colin Quinn.
Oh, is he the almighty? You can't say anything wrong in front of Colin. Is that?
Well, he's kind of like a Goodfellas fan, isn't he?
I don't fucking know. I don't know his movies.
Most men are.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, did you?
I like Goodfellas. It's a little different. It was on the. it was on the Lifetime channel.
Yeah, a bunch of merry
A
Italian.
little bit different, and it's.
Did you, Mike? Did you see the movie on Netflix? What was it? Mankin or Mankin or?
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. See what I mean? Like, what? Should we not make fun of that? Come on, you can do it. No.
Mankin.
Remember, less is more.
What? Mankin.
No. Less is more.
Manky?
Make.
Closer.
Mank.
Yeah, Mank. Is that what
You weren't even in the ballpark.
Was it? Is that what it was called? What happened? Oh, there it is. Wait.
Mank.
Yeah, is that? You know what? Yeah, that's it.
Mank.
You watched the whole movie last night.
Did you?
I would have taken Mankiewicz. That's the guy's name.
Did you?
Yeah, I would have accepted that.
How do you know that? That was his name. How do you know that?
Fucking
It's
read it.
possible that he read one headline or one article and he got it like that. People do.
Well, that's his job. He does radio all the time.
Rich would watch it. We were watching that movie, and then a thing. Okay, first of all, we sat down, and then Rich goes, "Oh, it's in black and white." Like, I feel like Rich could have a job as for a big studio or something where it's just like, what is the regular guy like? Like, what are middle America going to say about this? And then you just show Rich in a closed circuit just being like, oh, black and white. And then
like if there were subtitles.
Yeah. He won't watch anything with subtitles. He's like, no, not doing it.
If you watch a good movie, you don't even realize the subtitles are on anymore.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Well, Rich does because he can sound it all out.
The first time that ever happened was that what was that movie? El Mariachi. You ever see that movie? Robert Rodriguez?
Yes, that's a great movie.
I was like, subtitles. 10 minutes into it, I was like, I didn't even realize I was reading the whole time.
Yeah. Look at that. Getting your reading in without even knowing it.
What is your favorite movie, Rich?
My favorite movie?
Yeah.
I'm
like a top couple.
Days of Wine and Roses. I love that movie. That was a great movie with Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick. Wait,
can you go back just a little further?
What are you talking about?
I mean, what was that in the 30s? Like,
well, no, he said a couple. All right,
okay, go ahead.
You can go per decade.
You didn't see that when you were.
I know how Rich thinks. I know exactly what goes on here. Years ago, maybe when you were 20, 22, someone said to Rich, what's your favorite movie? And he went, oh, what was the movie? Days of Wine and Roses. And he's never changed his answer. Now, anytime anyone asks him, he says that movie because he already knows the answer to it.
Yeah.
I'm saying like no movie since then has come up and be Days of Wine and Roses.
Well, no, there's a lot, but that's a clip. Look, if people go, what's your favorite color? And if I go red, red's been my favorite. Am I going to?
But there's no new colors coming out. That's it. We know the color. That's it. You only have so many cones in your eye. This is all we can see. So you can pick your color whenever you want and keep it forever. But there's new movies and new music and new entertainment coming out all the time.
Hey, guess what, Loudmouth? He asked me.
You asked me to be on this podcast.
He asked me a couple of fucking movies. Okay. Is that one of the hoodies you made? Because the stitching looks crooked.
Yeah.
Let me see the wizard sleeves. Oh, yours are good. Bobby's family can fit his.
Yeah, but you never know when Bobby's going to try to steal a ham or something. That's why.
Well, I asked him, I needed measurements of his back and I needed measurements of something else. I can't remember, his neck. And then I didn't ask him for the wrist measurements. Instead, it's like a recipe. I just doubled everything or tripled or whatever it was. And
you just assumed.
Accidentally shouldn't have done that. Thick
neck equals thick wrist.
I always thought that, but it's not true.
Yeah, no, he's improportionally fat. He's like a toothpaste where you squeeze everything to the middle. Then his extremities are fine.
Right.
So should I go back to my favorite movies?
All right, favorite movies. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Days of Wine and Roses. I The Joy Luck Club. I like that movie. That was a great movie.
Who are you?
I know.
I'm getting, I kind of liked the first Lethal Weapon. Like, I could watch that forever.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That's a big jump right there.
Yeah, something you haven't done in years. Jump.
Oh my God.
But I'm trying not to do is jump.
How can he be so dumb and yet so quick-witted? It's such a
Because
crazy.
it takes out the quality, yet it puts in the humor. It's a trade-off.
It's like a computer that has no memory but goes very fast.
Yeah.
So I liked Lethal Weapon. Obviously, the Godfathers and stuff
Do you
like
have
that.
a ring light?
What's that?
Do you have a ring light?
Yeah, because how do you know of course, you turned it around. You were moving it.
No, because I can see it in your glasses.
Oh.
What would you say you're how long have you been married?
15 years.
What would you say be honest.
Okay.
You're how much do you like Rich on a scale of 1 to 10?
100.
No.
I really do. He's one of my favorite people.
500. You could love him 1,000,000, but how much do you like him?
Like, I don't want to kiss him, but I think he's great.
Would you make out if she wanted to make out?
Make out?
Yeah, like
I do my due diligence. Don't you think, Rich? I put forth effort when necessary. If you start getting a little like antsy, I do what I'm asked to do.
Yeah.
That's a good wife. My wife doesn't want to bang all the time, but I have a 90% return rate on asking for oral sex.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
That's pretty good.
I know. I always say like, "Oh, I'm propping up the patriarchy," but no, that's what he calls his falls.
He was blowing me the other night. She started gagging.
You laugh at jokes that I say now. Starting now.
She started gagging. I go, "That's right, take it all." She goes, "No, take a shower."
Yeah, no, I gagged because of the smell, and he was like,
I don't like my wife to be funny during sex at all. You would, if she ruins the mood by making a joke or something, I'd be like, oh, forget it.
But there's no other way to. Yeah, I have to have a sense of humor about it because Rich is horrendous. Like,
oh, she got mad because I was going down on her, and I forgot I still had Nicorette gum in my mouth. But, what?
Okay.
You get a buzz?
But now her pussy's addicted to nicotine.
Yeah.
So,
now he's got to go down on me 3 times a day.
I feel like that would be like he'd be annoying during that.
no,
He's well, you know what's annoying, and I don't think anyone listens to this podcast. So,
No, you're good. You're good.
But is that he has this thing? Can I talk about this, Richard?
Yeah, you're good. He said it's okay.
what the warts? No,
I was like, wow.
It's not one. No, he likes to have certain discussions go on. So,
oh yeah, I like her to talk dirty. Like,
yeah, somebody he'll get me started on him, but so he'll be like, hey. As an example, this will be dirtier, but I'll clean it up for this podcast. But
Make it dirty. We're on a podcast. We're on a payroll.
No, I don't know. I can see.
Give me real life Rich Voss sex story.
No, he'll say like, did you blow so and so or some, and I'll be like, yeah, I was like taking it, and then he'll be like, really? He stops to have like he'll be like, did you really? We're doing fantasy stuff, and then if I go along with it, he's like, wait, you cheated on me? Like, what are you doing?
Who's his go-to? Who does he want to know that you might have blown in fantasy world?
Well, I can't say who it is.
Yes, you can.
No, I really can't. I really can't because
Keith
it's
Robinson.
no, there was she was.
Don't say it, Rich.
I'm not gonna say his name. What the?
Don't say it.
When you were in Arizona.
No. This is somebody because then we did it the night before, and then I ran into him at the CVS the next day, and I was like, I was so embarrassed. He's like, hey, how you doing?
It's like somebody you know.
Yes.
No, but the main thing was in Arizona when she was out there. She,
So please don't. It's
okay,
so
I won't do that one. But
No, you can't bring us to the edge and then not deliver.
no, she called me one night when she was in Arizona. She goes, I'm real horny. I go,
No, I didn't say that. Please
Let us
stop
believe
talking.
yourself.
No.
Okay, well, forget it. Whatever. But, I mean, listen, sex after, how long you married, Mike? What?
17 years.
See, we're married 15 years.
About the same.
It's basically the same.
You got to either add fantasy or drugs and alcohol, or all three.
Drugs and alcohol better. Fantasy is just, it's too weird, I think. Not weird that you do it.
It's embarrassing after.
Like it would blow my mind if I said to my wife, "Did you ever suck this guy's dick?" She'd stop and go, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he's been doing this for 15 years, but then if I'm like, "Yeah, I was sucking his cock," he'd be like, "Really? You did it?"
No, I don't. No, after I come, I might do it like.
No, you've done it. You've been like, where I had to be like, "Wait, what are we doing here?"
It's also too like you don't kiss during sex, do you, Mike?
Yeah, sometimes. Like if we're drunk, we're really kissing.
She kisses me like I'm her grandfather, and I'll kiss her like she's in a coffin. Like,
yeah, but that's what turns me on.
It's like I'm saying goodbye to her. Like,
yeah.
No, I just try to get it over with any way I can.
And I imagine my wife is doing the same thing, so I accept that.
Yeah. But I can't believe Rich still wants to do it. It's like, aren't we past this?
No, see, and that's because you know why? Because he's still attracted to you. I'm still attracted to my wife. I'll go down on her as long as it takes if she needs me to. I'll definitely be the kisser.
Well, sometimes I'll even feel bad because it'll take too long. I'll be like, don't get hung up on like.
Yeah. I feel bad after if I'm not in the mood, but if I feel like it's taking too long, I'll call it off. I'll be like, I don't want to do this to you.
We call it off before we get started a lot. She'll start going, oh, you don't put me in the mood. Well, what the fuck do you want me to do? I brought you into the room. Isn't that good enough? And,
what is your go-to thing to get turned on? Do you like to talk scenarios too or no?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we all think of what we gotta think of.
If he's trying to talk dirty to you and he mispronounces words, that's got to ruin it.
No, she wants me to talk about like we'll get naked. I'll go, whoa, take off those nice pajamas you made. And so,
I want compliments, but not necessarily about what I've sewn.
Take off.
I just think I want him to feel like ooh, I just you turned me on. Like that's what turns me on is if I feel like somebody's into me.
Yeah, all right, so butt stuff. I don't want to have anal sex with my wife or any woman if I can see she's squinting and crying. I'm like, all right, well, this isn't working out. But if a girl says, put it in my butt or something, that's hot.
Yeah, but my wife and I have never even done 69 in 15 years.
Stop it.
Why?
I don't like it. It's like a working vacation.
I know. Because girls can't concentrate on two things at one time.
Yes, it's like I gotta think about my own thing. It doesn't involve my husband's jiggly ball sack on my face.
my ball sack doesn't jiggle anymore.
You must have some stretchy balls. I'm younger than you, and I got long balls.
No, I used to have long balls, but now they're coming up.
My buddy's a plastic surgeon. I almost asked him to tighten them up the other day. I was like, just take an inch off the bottom. Why don't you have Bonnie do it for you? She can stitch it up for you.
Yeah.
Bonnie grew up killing cows. She can fuck with your balls.
Do you know what cows are? You're so dumb.
Oh, yeah, they're ladies. You're right. Sorry. You're right. Good. Bull is. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. The bull is the male and the cow is the female.
How are you in dumber dice play? Insane.
Holy shit.
No, but my friend and I were talking about Rich last night on the phone. I don't know why every conversation is just it's just people call me to try to figure him out. They're like, I saw this on his, Instagram or whatever. But it's she's like, you should do a documentary about him. Because it's so crazy who you are. She was talking about, she watched that where you were wearing that thing on your head. What was it called?
My do-rag?
Your do-rag, but it was actually for, Muslim hair, It was the wrong do-rag. for
you weren't
adults.
wearing a do-rag. You were wearing some sort of religious headgear.
No, it goes back like that. It's
Yeah, it was some. It might even been for women. She thought it was for women. She was like, I think that might have been one for women. And then my other friend Annie Letterman was like, is he transitioning? Is that his hair now? Like everybody had some theory, on what was going on with you. And
you are both. I find you both super interesting.
I'm totally normal.
You are relatively normal. I'm not. Listen to me. I do this for a living, and I don't fear many people whatsoever. But sometimes I feel like when you pop on, I'm like, better talk. Because I feel like at any time you're going to yell at me, and I have two choices: to yell back or just take it. And I'm like, I'm just going to take it.
You can yell back. It's fine.
No. I don't know why. For some reason, I don't give a shit if Rich signs off and goes, "Fuck that guy, he's an asshole." But if you were like, "Fuck that guy, he's an asshole," that would hurt my feelings.
No.
I don't think you're an asshole.
No, not yet. It may come eventually.
we you know what? We were working in Florida, so we had to go do a radio show. This was Monsters in the Morning or something.
Yeah.
And we walk in the room, and there was like 7 of them.
Yeah.
And Bonnie goes, "Who's the head monster?" Right. Anyhow, within one break, they kicked us out.
No, it's because I said, I think he has some dead weight in here.
If you said that, I would be like, point to who should go. I'll fire him right now.
Yeah, right. I thought it would be fun, silly, but.
No, see, look, I'm telling you right now, if you're a comedian and you're one breaking out and you fucking, who my worst radio guest, one of my worst ever, best podcast guest, not best, but very good, but worst radio guest was Adam Ferrara.
Why? Because he just didn't.
He came in like we were interviewing, like he came in like he was Tom Cruise, and we were supposed to ask him about his life and his career. And we were like, "Get out of here."
He's such a nice guy. It's
right.
Weird.
And then like 2 years later, he came back, and we go, he's friends with all the people we're friends with. Maybe it was us. Bring him back in. It was fucking worse the second time. But on this show, on our podcast, he's great every time we have him on.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I mean, I could see that because he's earnest. That is another issue.
Do you think people are going to attack you when radio guys are going to attack when you come in?
Well, this is the thing with doing radio is, you don't know, like, I don't know the radio show. So, like, I don't know what they do. Sometimes it's like a sport, sometimes whatever. Like, you got to come in and kind of feel what they're doing. So you're like, is this serious? Should I make jokes? Am I like, he just here to like comment on stuff or, so sometimes you go in with the wrong, you take the wrong,
Regarded.
Yeah, like you're like going to be serious when they're actually really, fucking crazy, or you act like too energetic and they're really low key,
I know how to read every radio because I've been doing it. I've done so much radio around the country. Like I know when I've done your show, there's nothing I can't say, except for FCC stuff. Right. You know what I mean? Like I'll attack anybody in my vision.
Well, last summer, the summer before, when I went to Montreal to do promotion for the Nasty Show at Montreal, one of the guys there, when I did the interview, he goes, "Fine, it's done," like right away. He's like, "That's it." And then I go, like, "That's aggressive," or something. And he goes, "Well," he throws down his headphones and he goes, "You're the worst guest I've ever had." I go, "You've had a blissful career. I mean, that wasn't that bad,
There's certain great radio, like, your radio or the sports junkies in DC.
I like those guys.
You could go in and just start smashing them. And they love, like, if you go after one of them, the other 3 will be on your side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, what do you call it? Kid Chris. He doesn't care.
I mean, as a radio guy, if you're a comedian, I want you to be funny. And if that means you're going to attack somebody in the room, fuck, that's what you do. We expect, and I don't need to be the star while you're there. That's, I'm showcasing you guys. And I think radio guys are so insecure, they don't do that.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you think, though, that like when a woman comes in, you might treat her a little differently? Like, I feel like sometimes like it's like if a guy came in and did some of this stuff, you'd be like fine with it, but they're not expecting it from me, maybe, or Like you said, you don't want to yell back, so then you feel like you're in a situation.
Oh, I don't want to yell back because I know that you'll be in my peripheral for a long time. So I don't want to be like, I don't want to. Bonnie yelled at me. I can't go to that barbecue.
Oh.
but I mean, like like Amy Schumer came in one time and we didn't know her at all, and she came in with another comedian. Usually that's how they come in when they don't want to be there.
Right.
She sat down and my co-host said something like kind of a little stabby, but kind of jokey, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, is that what you do? You make the jokes, you know? And I was like, this is not going to end well. But 5 more minutes, we let it go. And we were fucking best friends after she stayed for an hour. Yeah. Right. So you just kind of like, there's some people that come in like Michael Rappaport. I knew, I was like, no, and then I was like, yeah, we'll fight with him, bring him in. Like, I just knew that it was going to turn into a fight. So, because he's so loud. And then
that's what he wants. That's his thing, right? He like rants and raves.
He's aggressive, but he's good radio, I think.
He's great. So he and I got into it. I went after him. I just was like, what happened to you? You were in such great movies. Now you're just like shit. You're like a whack packer now. And he went off.
You're always talking about the housewives.
It got exactly what I expected. And then, but I wasn't really mad. I just knew he would give in. And then he came to town a couple months later and he was like, I want to come and squash the show. I was like, fuck yeah. And he was great. He walked in, I sized him up. I was like, we could fist fight if you want. And we just made a big deal about it and it ended up being good radio. I had to throw Gallagher out.
Oh, Gallagher's such an asshole.
Such an asshole.
I was.
I have to go. I'm sorry. I have to go pick up Raina. So.
Bye,
guys. You old enough to get home by yourself now?
I know.
Thank you.
Tried to give her the car. She didn't want it. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. This is boring. Bye.
Dude, she's the fucking best, man.
Thank God she's gone. What do you call her?
Tell me who she didn't want you to say.
No, it's just she was doing a roast and I don't even know the name in Arizona. And
she was telling you about that guy. She was attracted to him.
No, I just made up a guy, one of the people, and I go walk to his room or something, or is he in your hotel, or and listen, when I fucking spank it, that's the only thing that's going to get me hard. Besides
thinking about her with other dudes.
Well, no, just some weird shit, whatever weird shit.
I like weird shit too, but I don't. For some reason,
I don't want to see faces. I just want to see a cock in her mouth.
Okay. I get you. I get that. I don't want that, but I get it. I know what you're saying. That'll still make me want to kill everybody in the room.
What's that?
That'd still make me want to kill everybody in the room.
Well, just, I don't know, do your radio for 15 minutes. That'll take out a couple of people. So, what did we were talking about radio or going in and.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many. Oh, no. I mean, the worst is I used to do two guys. Oh, I'll tell you. I used to do two guys had, like 100 radio stations around the country, small ones. And, they would go, before I came in, they would go, write down 5 questions for them to ask you, or ready to kiss of death. And they were probably the biggest guys in the Midwest.
So this is Bob and Tom. Just
yeah. Yeah, Bob. So, I want to go back if I'm ever out there, but it's just Bob now.
But here's the thing. That's every comedian hates going on that show, but they sell so many tickets. You're like, I gotta go.
No. Here's the thing, Tom. Well, I played golf with Tom. I went to his house. He gave me a golf bag that he had left over from a tournament. It's and then you get them separate, and that was Bob. Years and years ago, when I went in there, he called me and they hired me to do a private show.
Oh, so
I got along great with him, but I was in there once, and this other comic was in there. He's a musical act from the Midwest. Maybe I'll think of his name later. It doesn't really matter. So we're doing radio in there, and that comic says to me, he goes, "How come?" He goes, "We've never worked together, And I said to that comic, I go, "That's because I don't do B rooms," as a joke.
Right.
So during break, Bob's yelling, "That's why I don't have 2 comics in here together. Nobody gets inside humor." I'm like, relax. It's just a fucking dumb joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then one time I went there and they had 2 other comics in that aren't even in my radio league. They might have better credits, but they can't come close to how I do radio. And, they were on in all these markets, but their last, I think 15 minutes was just Indiana.
Okay.
Indianapolis area. And they didn't bring me in till then. And I was furious because, one of them was Kevin Pollak, and he stinks beyond stinking.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's terrible radio too.
We had the biggest fight years ago. He was on Anthony's podcast.
Uh-huh.
And out of nowhere, he brings up my name and Anthony's moving along because I'm friends with Anthony.
Right.
And Anthony will trash me if it's the right.
But that's different. Yeah.
It's different. If it's like Norton or Bobby or Colin, but some guy coming in, because that's basically back then. That was that was like family. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and then all of a sudden, they move on, and then Kevin comes back to it. And goes, what's up with Voss? He has this list. How's he on radio? And he's just fucking going in out of nowhere, and who could listen to that? He wasn't saying I wasn't funny. So that's when me and Bonnie had our own show.
Right.
On Sirius. So I fucking laid into him. And then Sam, who can't stand him, drove in just to help me tread. Right? That fucking hack. And don't get me wrong, he's a good actor.
Good actor, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
We were talking about him a couple of weeks ago. He's the only person who's ever been on the show. Yeah, this is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He came in the studio. He was at the Improv, and one of the producers wanted to take a picture with him. And he was like, man, I don't like to take pictures in the morning. I'm not really looking good. I was like, oh, you fucking kidding me.
What does he think? He's fucking Lola Falana?
Plus, it was before social media. It was like, this guy's going to print it out and hang it on his wall. Stupid Lola Falana.
Anyhow, so me and Sam fucking destroy him for like 20 minutes. Because Sam really doesn't, I don't know, I forget the reason why. Oh, because he attacked Sam in studio just when Sam was a producer, or whatever. So the next morning, he was on Opie and Anthony, or was it Opie and Jim? I don't even remember. It was Opie and Jim at the time. Yeah. And Opie took wind of all of it and had tapes, and then Opie's like, so what's up? And then he gets me on the phone with Kevin. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's the best.
Yeah. Did you go in? First of all, I'll follow you on your best night in comedy and whatever, this and that. And he kind of like folded. Because, if it came to one-on-one verbally, back and forth, right, I'm going to win.
Also, he's in a position where everybody in the room loves you, and he's just there for the day.
Oh, and also, too, he has a decent acting career, so there's certain things he probably can't say, right, that could hurt him down the road. I get that. He definitely has he's a good actor. He's
been in great movies.
Yeah. Usual Suspects. He was great in it.
Casino.
Casino. He was in that movie, Kevin Smith's Red Dawn, whatever. I don't know about. The movie where it was about the people that protest in Kansas against gays and whatever. It was a takeoff of that movie. And Kevin Smith didn't even play it in theaters. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying Kevin was good in that movie, and whatever. He's a good actor.
Red State.
But he's attacking.
Oh, Red State. Yeah.
Yeah, he's attacking me. I never did anything to the guy in my fucking life.
Clearly, you rubbed him the wrong way somewhere, and he saw that as an opportunity to bash you when you weren't there.
Yeah. So
not doing it would bite him in the ass the next morning.
Yeah, and then I think Bonnie saw him somewhere, like in Montreal or something, the year I wasn't there, and he was like, being nice or trying to like apologize. I don't know, whatever. But I never did anything to the guy in my life. I when we were arguing or when Opie called me, I said, Tim, can you please do this conversation in your Peter Falk voice? I go, if as an impressionist, how they used to turn around and get ready for their impression. Yeah. I go, you don't do that because you're scared the audience will run out. But whatever. And, it was squashed. I had a fucking big blowout with Mike Birbiglia on radio. They come in there and they're going to come at me. Do you understand?
Birbiglia, he seems so unassuming.
Well, I mean, we squashed this too, but if you listen to it, you can listen to it on YouTube. It got fucking ugly.
Oh, I will now.
There's 4 episodes.
If you touch that fucking hat again, I'm going to knock it off your head.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. So what happened was we were doing a virus tour, and I host the first half. There's like 4 or 5 acts. Right. And then intermission. Then the second half, Opie and Anthony came out and hosted it, right? So, and I hosted all of them for 3 years. We did it and never failed. I don't fail. Okay. It's not ego. It's just, I know those fucking mutants in the audience. I know it, whatever. So Mike is on the second half, and on his behalf, it was a long intermission, he didn't get up to the end to right before Norton closed.
Right.
So he didn't get up. These people were shot. So that was against him. You know what I mean? But it's in August, and he walked out with a hoodie on. And he's not doing well, which is not completely his fault because, again, the show was going for 3 fucking hours.
The animals are in the audience.
And they saw fucking headliner after headliner, Patrice, me, Bobby, whoever. I mean, just major fucking acts killing all night. So, he comes out and he's not having the best set in the world. So he goes, oh, what do you want me to be, like Voss and do crowd work? And already now he walks out to the audience and he's really eating it. Because even though they're mutants, they still like me.
Right.
So anyhow, he doesn't have the best set. So we're in studio maybe, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks later. And he comes in and he's being so passive aggressive towards me. Like, just like in studio. Like, this is where, I'm here all the time, and it got so fucking ugly, and he's so bad. And, oh, what's wrong? I go like, Mike, just not, and then I started going, let me make you feel at home. And I started booing him like, boo. And it just got, we squashed it. I've seen him since then many times. And we
still hate you.
Huh?
He still hates you.
Probably. But no, we had the last time I saw him at the Cellar, we had a good conversation, but it was ugly, and it's on YouTube. It's Rich Voss, whatever, Mike Birbiglia. The first 2, it's 4 parts, but the first 2 parts are the fucking, it just, I don't, like, if I walk into a radio station, I'll fuck around with people, but I'm not going to attack them, like, you know what I mean? Like, basically, where I would try to take work out of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's if you walk in and you have the nerve to start cutting on me when you walk in, I appreciate that. I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be great. He's comfortable. He's confident. So
yeah. But see, when Kevin went after me, there was no reason for it, and it was just only hurt me. Why is he on radio? Who can listen to that? And then Mike came in with this attitude. Well, I'm a theater act, and I was like, Mike, I could work your audience. You can't work mine.
Yeah.
And whatever. But like I said, I never squash it with Kevin really because I don't see Kevin. But I would see Mike at the Cellar, or And
why do you think Kevin still does comedy? Like, well, he can't. He's like as famous as he is, and as many good movies as he still has to go back and do comedy. Like maybe he feels like he was never good enough doing it.
Well, no, when he's when he's doing a Walter Matthau, what's his name, impression? When he's doing an Albert Finney impression, people are going, "Who the fuck is that?" Okay, update your fucking impression, stupid. He's Walter Matthau. Nobody knows who Tommy Lee Jones is anymore. So I don't know why these people still do comedy. I mean, look, it's Seinfeld is a billionaire, but Seinfeld was a great comic before.
He's always been a comic. That's his number one thing.
Yeah, and before his TV show, he was fucking funny. When Seinfeld used to go on Carson, he was so fucking funny to me.
Yeah,
and when he did the bit about the heaviest man, and it was like 1,400 pounds. Say he lost 200. His friends said, "Oh, you look like a rail." Whatever. It was a bit. Look at me.
You want to know something sad though? Is the last time I saw him, not good. I was in a room. I was at a theater with a bunch of New Yorkers. It was down here, but it was a bunch of New Yorkers, a bunch of Seinfeld fans, and it was a bunch of old ladies, and they loved them. And I thought, that's his audience now, just old ladies.
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, I saw him once or twice at Gotham. The last time I saw him, he was funny. And, he was, but all I know is when I used to watch him, I used to think he was great. I mean, and I have a different taste for comedy. I used to, love like what do you call it, Bob Newhart or stuff. Or
I love Newhart.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what about Robin Williams?
In the beginning, I kind of imitated. I was running around trying to, because I didn't know who I was on stage or my voice. I never again. After comedy. He wasn't to me my cup of tea.
Good actor.
Good. He was great. He was
great movies.
In fucking Garp, one of the best fucking movies. How fucking great was it?
I just never, his comedy is just like a guy on drugs making noises. I never liked it. I never thought he was funny.
No, but there's so many different styles of comedy I liked. Like I would say Steve Landesberg, or and then you go to Brian Reed. I mean, to me, the best now, one of the best is Stanhope. To me, I mean, you listen to Stanhope, you're going, this guy's fucking brilliant. Or Maria Bamford, they're fucking. You listen to him going. You listen to Maria Bamford, and you're going, holy fuck! Not only is she doing characters and such obscure fucking comedy. You're going, this is fucking amazing. If you you listen to Stanhope, he'll start a bit here and just bring it. He does a bit. Stanhope does this bit about a third world guy in an American prison. It's fucking funny as anything I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But then I saw this guy about a month ago. Anthony's co-host, Dave Landau.
Yep.
Holy fuck, is this guy funny?
Is he funny? See, I wasn't here when he was in town.
God, is he? I sat and watched an hour of him. Well, I'm not going to sit and watch an hour unless I went to a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't, to me, the best comedy, to me, it's like, especially the crew I hang around with, Bobby, Norton, Colin, because they're more personal. Brian Regan is as funny as anybody can be.
Yeah.
As funny, but you walk away from a Brian Regan show, you go, what did he say? I don't know, but he was funny.
Right.
You walk away from seeing Norton, Colin, me, or Bobby, you go, what did he say? Well, Voss, we know, was a drug addict. We know you know what I mean? So there's different, I like personal comedy, but I love, like I said, I could fucking watch Brian Regan anytime, or Maria Bamford, or,
Brian Regan's one of the best comedians ever. However,
so was Jenny.
Jenny was great.
You would watch fucking Jenny, and I'll tell you who's fucking funny. Who I'll turn on the radio and Sirius.
Yeah,
it's fucking John Mulaney.
Dude, the first time I ever saw John Mulaney do stand up was his Radio City special. And I was like, how the fuck have I not watched this shit before? He's hilarious.
He is so fucking good.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? You know, John
Mulaney said when his Radio City special, this was one of the funniest things I've heard. He said, Trump being president, he goes, I don't care. He goes, I find it interesting. He goes, it's like a horse wandered into a hospital. Everybody's like, what the fuck is a horse doing in a hospital? And then they're like, I don't know. Let's see what it does. And then you go to bed, and the next way you wake up and you're like, the horse is still in the fucking hospital. He's knocking shit over everywhere. That was one of the funniest bits ever.
He's so fucking good. And John Mulaney, like, I bet if you sat at a table with him at like the Cellar or somewhere, and you went back and he wouldn't be the type. To me, I don't know. I could be wrong because I never really. But he wouldn't be the type that would come back at you, like, or be as vicious,
right?
You know, as Keith or Bobby or Norton or me.
Different kind of. It's a different level.
It's a different stuff. But let me tell you something. Every time, like when I turn serious on in the comedy, Raw Dog or something, certain comics, the second I hear the voice, I'll,
Yeah.
But certain ones, like anytime Mulaney's on, I'm going, how the fuck could he be so funny? How could this be so? And there's so many comic, I mean, he's famous, but you take a guy like Dave Landau, I watch him for an hour. I'm going, how?
Really? I missed. It sucks that I missed it.
So, and I was never, really big on, props or impressions or stuff. It was more the personal comedy I loved the most, and just the brilliant, the bright, the smart stuff too.
That's why when I grew up in Staten Island, but I moved to Florida. So in the early 90s or 1990, when you were on Last Comic Standing, I was like, I know him from Opie and Anthony's show, and I thought this is a great way for the rest of the world to meet these guys that all the people in New York already know is funny. And that's why I thought it wasn't about winning and losing and that shit. It was the whole world got to see a guy, our buddy that we all know is so funny. You know what I mean? Like now he's all over the world. You still talk to that other guy, that Dave guy?
I haven't talked to him. He was a sidekick for Tom Bernard in Minneapolis, Radio Tom Bernard.
Yeah.
He hasn't done comedy, at least on the road, for years. I
remember he was good.
He was funny as fuck, Dave Mordell, but he was miserable.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him one of these days. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years. The last time I was in Minneapolis was probably, in that show back then, I didn't care about winning. I just wanted to get airtime and show. I just wanted to be as much on screen as I could. I didn't give a fuck about the comedy competition.
Well, I was watching it as a viewer. So at the time, I was like, "Oh, let's see who's going to win and who's challenging and all that." But then I realized that I don't think I'd ever seen Ralphie before. There were a lot of guys I was like, I turned on to from that show.
Yeah, to me, it was a sitcom without a script.
Yeah, and that back then it was much much more like that with you guys in the house and all that stuff. That was, I don't know. I wish they would bring that back and do that the right way.
Well, the best show to me was Tough Crowd, doing Tough Crowd.
Tough Crowd was awesome.
One, it was in New York. I just drove there to do TV, Two, I did it with my friends. Three, I think Colin is one of the most brilliant comics. He's so fucking quick. I'll never forget this line. We were doing radio, Opie and Anthony or whatever, and we were in studio. It was me, Bobby, and Colin. And Colin looks at Bobby and goes, "Bobby, you look like a last-minute gift at the Beijing airport." I'm going, this is one of the fucking best lines ever.
That was fucking
Colin, so one, we're doing Tough Crowd. One, it's decent money, whatever. It's fucking, so many people watch Tough Crowd that were in the business because we were on there saying things that nobody was ever saying.
And it debuted on NBC, right? Were you on that part of it? Yeah, I remember that. I remember it was on NBC, and then it moved. Then they moved and changed it and made a Tough Crowd, and then that was great because the first time I ever saw the Apollo was on was on Tough Crowd. And I had Colin on my show. I'm like, who's that Italian guy that you have on? Dude, that was the first time I ever saw him. I was like, this guy's so fucking mean.
Well, it's funny because when Tough Crowd, the guy that was booking it, I think when it was on NBC, they did 3 episodes. I know.
Yeah, it was only a couple.
Yeah. I did a sketch, and I don't know if it made it. I think it did. I was in a sketch. But anyhow, so when it went to Comedy Central, Colin said to the guy who books it, get Voss. And the guy goes, nah, he's not right. And Colin goes, get him.
Yeah.
I did 35 fucking episodes. Okay. Wow. So, and I was a semi-regular. There was the regulars were Geraldo, DePaulo, Patrice, Nort, and Keith. Then there was the second, it was like me, I think Judy Gold, and maybe 1 or 2 others. But I did 35 fucking episodes of that show.
Do you remember who the booker was?
No, I don't even remember. It was this guy, Jeff.
I just always wondered because like Eddie Brill, when he was booking for Letterman, and he would turn down all these great comedians who would then just blow up. Like, how come nobody was like, why are we letting Eddie book the guest anymore? You know what I mean?
Well, Eddie used to put himself on every fucking week. When I was on Last Comic, Eddie called me one night and said, "Can you do Letterman tomorrow? Right? Can you, give me a sec? Somebody cancel it." And I was on Letterman was on CBS, and I was on Last Comic. It was still airing.
Right.
I go, I don't think I could do it. I don't think NBC will be fucking happy if I do it. If anything, they would want me to do Leno, not fucking Leno.
Right,
so
right.
I don't think it'd be right. You know what I mean? So then years after or whatever, Bonnie did it 3 times, but the guys that used to produce with Eddie they were producers on Opie and Anthony. They were brothers. Stangles. They said, yeah, we would always bring up your name to Eddie, and Eddie would go, nah, he's not right for it. Which, on the outside, if you think, oh, he's not right for it, I did fucking Rosie midday. I did The View, stand up on The View 2 or 3 times, and I did Rosie. I know how to do it, but I'm kind of glad because that kind of TV, I get too fucking nervous.
Do you really?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'd have a heart attack. I'll tell you a story about when I did Keenan, but I did Kimmel and Keenan, but I'll tell you Keenan's story. Anyhow, I just, like when you're taping, say a special for Comedy Central or anywhere, if you fucked up a bit, when I was doing a Comedy Central special, I fucked up a bit, I go, let's do it again. I did it 3 times so I got it right because there's editing. When you're doing Letterman, I go up there, I might get somebody fired.
Yeah.
Because,
you go off if you start doing other shit. Yeah.
No, I just, because I can, I was doing Keenan. So they had me come there at like 2:00, and I had anxiety. I had bad anxiety, real bad. And they had me there at like 2:00, and I was sat in this room dressing for like 3 or 4 fucking hours, about thinking, oh my God, that I'm gonna, this is a urban audience, and already, and I'm here, I just let me come there an hour before, get makeup, and going. So I'm sitting here all day, losing my fucking mind. Then they're get ready to bring me out, and there's some kind of technical. I'm standing behind a curtain for 45 or 50 minutes.
It's like they're fucking with you.
My fucking heart is jumping. So my intro, now this is an urban audience. My intro is, Keenan's supposed to say, our next act was the first white comic on Def Jam.
Right.
Which I was. He introduces me, goes, and now our next act, you might recognize him from Def Jam. So now they think, they think whoever's coming out, Earthquake or whatever, fucking Cedric. So all of a sudden I walk out and going, who's this fucking one? Because everybody didn't see my episode.
Right.
Anyhow, it's not going as well as the fucking, the set we ran the night before at the Improv.
Right.
So I go, fuck this, I'm going to plan B, right? Fuck their plan A. And I did something, not really laughing. I went to the audience, I go, look, you want to see Martin Lawrence? Spend $100. You got in here for free. For free, you get me. And I just went to Plan B,
Right.
fucking around or doing whatever, and I made it through the set from going from a complete bomb to maybe a 5. Or
Because you knew you had nothing to lose at that point. You're
I
like,
had nothing to lose. And the producer or whoever, after I got off, goes, "Oh, that was great." You know what I mean? But your plan was something else that was not working, you know. Yeah. So, you know, those shows, I never really cared about late night. Kimmel, I was getting ready to do Kimmel, and they come down right before I go on. They go, "You can't do that joke, the Indian joke." I go, "What?" They go, "Yeah, we have a lady who's from India." I go, "Well, it's about Native Americans. It's not about," and the joke. I mean, now I would never be able to do it on TV, but when I was a kid, the teacher used to say, "Sit Indian style," and I get a bottle of whiskey and lay on the curb. But back then, you were allowed to do a joke like that.
Yeah.
Now I had to throw away all my fucking Redskin hats. Even though I don't have any of it. But right before I was going on, they come down and go, "Take that out." So that kind of shit, like Bonnie did Fallon, a year. She killed. I mean, fucking, she's so good on late night TV.
Does she get nervous?
No. She gets more nervous in a club than she does on TV. I get nervous on TV. I'll walk into any club. I don't care. Yeah. So, I mean, she killed on Fallon. What do you call it? I was up in the balcony, and he loved her. And he was so nice. He came backstage. My daughter, Raina, was there, and he was like, "Hey, Reg," I'm like, this fucking guy knows me. You feel, I was on Fallon, actually, after we taped the HBO special with Colin, the parking lot, the drive-in thing.
Yeah.
They showed a clip on Fallon, and the clip was basically all me. So I'm going to say I was on Fallon now. But
what were they showing a clip for? Like promote it or?
Yeah, to promote. Colin went on to promote.
Oh, Colin went on. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, Colin went on, and the clip was all me, basically.
Yeah,
which the special was great. It was so much fun to do. Anything Colin does and you're involved with, is going to be successful.
Yeah.
Just know it. And then when you put Colin, me, Bobby, Keith, Bonnie together, are you kidding me?
That's why I wish you were. I tried to get Voss when I did my roast, and you were unavailable that weekend. But you were the one that I couldn't get, and everybody else I got was like a dream fucking lineup. It was all my guys. I was like, this is fucking unbelievable that I was able to get everybody. You were the only way. It was you and somebody else who wasn't as funny, but was like a friend of the show that I couldn't get that I wanted. But you're coming. You're at what? You're at Side Splitters. I know there's a date already, right?
Yeah. I don't have.
I'll find it. I know because somebody had asked earlier, but yes, he's coming to Side Splitters early next year. He'll definitely be on the show. We'll definitely, maybe I'll even break out the old golf clubs that weekend. Who knows? Oh,
when's the last time you played golf?
I played in a charity tournament a couple months ago. I'm terrible, but I'll do it if it's fun.
Can you get us on Innisbrook?
Fuck Innisbrook. I live on TPC. We'll go.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. If you don't
play, can you still get me on it?
I can get you on it.
Oh, okay. Everybody heard this. All 7 of you people listening.
I was driving the other day. I mean, I've lived here for 2 years. I see golfers all the time. I never see anybody I know. A couple of times people I know will send me a picture of my house from one of the holes, but I never see anybody. And the other day I whooped a U-turn and this cart was starting to go and I almost hit it. And I looked over and it was Bobby Jewell, who used to own Side Splitters.
Oh,
sure. I pulled up next to him. And, it was like the first guy I ever recognized. There you go. April 29th. Voss will be at Side Splitters.
Yeah, by then, oh, thank you. I didn't mean to cut you. By then, I won't mind traveling. We should have a vaccine by then. We should have it. I'm trying to see how I can get it before everybody. As long as I get it before Kevin Pollak gets it, that's all I care about.
Well, they say the elderly are first, so you should be all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up for Bobby's doing a thing on the 30th of January, so that'll be the first time I travel all year. I'm gonna come and check that out.
He's doing that.
He's doing a special where they're taping it. They're streaming it and they're taping it.
Yeah, they're streaming it. Yeah. Oh,
Do
good.
we have an update on Bobby?
Yeah, so I text him. I'll tell you, I text him a couple of times, and then he hit me back once, and he said it was about 2. So right now it was 3:00. He hit me back, said, "I'm out. I'm good. Just a little out of it." And I wrote back, "You feeling okay?" He said, "I'm a little fucked up. I'll call you later." And that was the last time I talked to him at 3:30. So good.
I hope they put his belly button in a jar and let him take it home. It looks like a little baby in a jar or something.
Thank you, Rich. Are you here tomorrow too, or is Bobby back tomorrow? How does this work out?
Bobby said he wouldn't be available tomorrow. He might be able to come in on his phone for a little bit, but he wouldn't be able to. He'll still be in the hospital.
Okay, well, we'll figure something out.
All right. Well, I had fun, and hope I didn't sound like I was too pontificating or too.
No,
I'm just talk about comedy.
It was good. So I'm so interested in hearing it from people who are actually in the business. And Bonnie was great too. Say thank you to Bonnie for us.
All right. Maybe I'll try to bang her tonight. I don't know if I want to waste. I don't know if I want to waste a blue pill though.
Do you need a pill? You need it every time?
Only if she looks at me.
I took it one time just to see if it would make it better, and it made my head so fucking flush. I felt like my head was going to explode. I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
Really? I use those blue chews where you can chew on them and they kick in no time. Anyhow, me and Bonnie are putting up videos. They're on the Laugh Button site all over. We're so late on everything. But from our podcast now, we're putting up videos, and they're a lot of fun. They're fun to do. And the podcast, my wife hates me on Laugh Button or iTunes or wherever the fuck it is. I don't know. Or my roast, which is the best roast in the history of roast, is free on YouTube at Voss Roast.
Oh, it's free now.
Yeah, it's been free since the pandemic. We put it up. And we're at over 400,000 views. I guess that's good.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Pretty solid.
For some, huh?
I said it's pretty solid.
Yeah, for something that's over an hour. It's not like it.
A clip.
So, anyhow, this was good. And Bonnie, before we did the podcast, I go, I'm doing, my Caltas, and she goes, I don't think he likes me. I go, no, it's because she's always comes on mean. But
I love her.
I go, no, he likes you. Are you kidding me?
I know that both of you don't remember, but I had her on back in the last comic days. I had her on when I was on the country station.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she was on and she had said cunt on NBC and they beeped it out, and we had her on right after that. And I was like, way to fucking have balls on. I've always thought she was great. All right, Rich, thank you. And Ladybugs, thank you for watching. Check out Calta and Kelly on Instagram for updates. Mush, anything else?
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, patreon.com/Robert Kelly, $5 a month. You got all these episodes live. You can comment, be part of the chat, get the Friday Patreon only episode and the Saturday night jerk off party. Be part of that. And like we put up earlier, wallstreettheater.com, January 30th. You'll be able to see Robbie Kelly live on the internet or live in person. So get those tickets now.
There you go.
All right.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're going to go like at 6.
6 sounds good.
Good. All right.
For you, Rich?
Rich.
Get a guest. I can't carry this again.
Okay, we will.
See you, buddy. See you, Mush. Thanks.
Right down from your belly. So get in here, you half a queer. It's time for Calta and Kelly.